name is Logan and welcome back to my channel. So for those of you who don't know, Glee was my hyperfixation for a really long time. It went away for about a year, but it's back in full swing and I just can't let it go. That, plus my obsessive need to make lists and rank everything, I'm ranking every Glee song ever. Now, that may seem like an incredible task to take on, as Glee has recorded over 700 songs for the 6 seasons of the show. So, I'm going to be ranking them by season. This video is my complete season 1 ranking. There are 5 tiers to this video, which has a properly named category for each. If you saw my Andrew series, it's a very similar concept. The names will be revealed as we get to them. Before we start, I do have a couple of rules so y'all don't yell at me in the comments. Number 1, if the song was cut from the episode, it doesn't count even if the song appears on the soundtrack. My only exception to this is Don't Make Me Over from Hairography, as the instrumental version does play in the episode. Something like Burning Up from The Power of Madonna will not be counted for this list as it's not in the episode. Songs that were in the show but were not on the soundtrack also will not be counted. Number 2, songs are based on both singing capabilities and context in the episodes. I may hate how a song sounds, but love its context and vice versa. Both are important. All of my information is from the Glee Wiki, that's number 3, so please be aware that some of the information in this video may be incorrect. And number 4, this is my list and opinion, so opinion's opinion and, you know. Anyway, that being said, let's get started with the countdown.
Now push it. Push it. Push it good.
Welcome to our first and worst tier, You Can't Touch This. You can't touch these songs with a 10-foot pole. They're so bad. So, let's talk about Push It. This is the absolute worst song in the entire season. First of all, as you'll notice is a common theme, I think the sex stuff is weird. I don't want to watch a bunch of teenagers grinding on each other for 3 minutes, especially since it starts a sex riot amongst the student body. Thank you, Jacob and Israel. Also, I think Finn's voice is really, really bad here. I get that he's still new to singing and you could blame it on the nerves, but I think this clip,
Yo baby pop, yeah you, come here, give me a kiss,
is one of Corey's worst performances, although his voice is pretty hit or miss for me to begin with.
'Cause I'm leaving on a jet plane.
Speaking on a jet plane, as with many of Mr. Shu's slower solos are boring. This one made it to the very bottom, as it's absolutely the worst song from the pilot by a landslide, but my issue is that we've only known Will for 1 episode at this point. We only see the basics of his character, and we don't know why we should care. Yes, he has a sham of a marriage, but so did half of America in 2009. What makes him special? I'm not invested in the slightest. I want to sex you up. Teachers performing a song about sex with their students. Enough said.
Do you know what it feels like in this world for a girl?
What it feels like for a girl. When I watched Glee for the first time in 2015, I put it down after this episode because I found this song to be incredibly boring and I just couldn't get through the episode. Also, Mr. Shu forces them to sing it because the New Directions boys are all misogynists. Sorry, Will, I don't think that singing Madonna is gonna fix your students' internalized issues with women.
Lose, and what comes next? Hey, bust the move.
And you want it, you got it. And you want it, baby, you
Just bust the
got it.
move.
Crush. First of all, this episode makes me incredibly uncomfortable. A plotline that they do a lot on this show is teachers and students and sex. Do with that what you will. For those of you that don't remember, Rachel had a massive crush on Mr. Shu, and she sings this in the car as he's driving her home after she broke into his house. Well, technically Terry let her in, but like Will didn't want her there, so I'm going to count it as a break-in. We only get a little bit of the song before he quiets her, and what we hear is nice. It's decent on the recording too, but the plot line is bad, and I hate it, and it's gross, and let's move on, especially since Leah Michele and Matthew Morrison dated before Glee started.
You're having my baby.
You're having my baby. There are a few scenes and numbers from Glee that I cannot watch because they make me cringe so hard. I know it's coming, and I can't. This is the first of those. Every time Finn pulls out that damn boombox, I have to skip the scene. I think the track sounds fine, not Finn's best by any means, but it's not awful. I just cannot force myself to watch it whenever I rewatch this episode.
Hello, I love you, won't you tell me your name?
Hello, I love you. This episode and Home are the low points of the season for me story-wise, and if I'm being completely honest with you, I had to look up where the song fit into the storyline as I could not remember. But I think the biggest reason that I don't like this song is Finn's voice. There's just something there that doesn't suit the song at all.
One less bell to answer.
One less bell to answer / a house is not a home. Speaking of home, this is the reason I don't like this episode, or at least one of the reasons. This mashup duet between Will and April Rhodes goes on for 5 minutes with absolutely nothing happening. I think there's supposed to be some kind of emotion that I'm supposed to care about, but I really don't, because nothing happens. And it's even worse because Kurt sang the same song, A House Is Not a Home, which is half of the mashup, earlier in the episode and did it way better.
You can't touch this.
You can't touch this. The namesake for this tier, the New Directions sing this in the library as an attempt to become bad. I get that this is a high school drama and the main goal is to be popular. I get that they think being bad will make them popular, but the number is boring. Also, I do not understand why they make Artie rap all the time. Ice, ice, baby. Ice, ice, baby. I don't think it's an unpopular opinion to hate it when Will raps. That being said, I think the context of the scene before really bothers me. Now, I know it's a television show and characters' opinions can change in an instant, but when Jesse says,
This song should be arrested for the crime of sucking,
and then immediately jumps into the number like he loves it, it's confusing and stupid.
And I don't even know his last name.
Last name. I like the scene after this song in which April acknowledges that she shouldn't be in the Glee Club anymore in order to give the teenagers their time in the spotlight. I love that moment. That being said, this song has the weird sex stuff again. Thank God it sounds good because I really only listened to it on the cast album. Just the implications of April getting drunk and having sex with these kids, especially after she's been in the showers with the entire football team, it makes me really squeamish. Although I do love the pink cowgirl dress. Very Toddlers and Tiara's outfit of choice vibes.
You say goodbye, and I say hello.
Hello, goodbye. This is one of the earliest examples of the episode ending with an ensemble number that fits the assignment just because the episode needs to end with a song. I think it's a fine performance, nothing special, but all the other assignment songs manage to fit into the story in some way. This number doesn't, and it started the trend of this throughout the rest of the series. I'm looking at you, season 4.
You just keep me hanging on.
Keep me hanging on. I think Quinn's voice is fine. Not my favorite of the cast, but she's not bad by any means. That being said, I don't think it suits this number. Somewhere down the line, I don't remember where, people talk about Quinn's smooth alto voice and how good it is in the ensemble numbers. I agree. It blends really well with others. Now, I'm not saying Quinn doesn't deserve solos. I think her solo parts at sectionals in season 2 were really great. I just don't like this song.
Imagine all the people living life for today.
Imagine. Honestly, I think this number's a little ableist. They invite the Davenport School of the Deaf to come watch them sing, right? Which they do. So why do the New Directions need to get up and sing with the deaf kids? They can't get one number for themselves without the hearing students butting in. It makes me really iffy, especially since they didn't plan to invite them to the school in the first place. They only got invited after they found out about Jane Addams getting invited, and they were jealous. Which has its own implications, but anyway, let's move on.
When I think of home, I think of a place where there's love overflowing.
Home. This is number 2 of my problematic 3 that I'm going to talk about right now. The first one was Imagine, and then the one after this is number 3. So, Home, from the episode Home. This is another song that I have an issue with because of problematic implications, but April Rhodes is a problematic character to begin with. At the end of the episode, as April is saying goodbye to Will, she and the New Directions sing this song from the musical The Wiz. For those of you that don't know, how could you not know? The Wiz is a black interpretation of The Wizard of Oz and is supposed to have an all-black cast in all performances. Not only is this whitewashing of The Wiz as a whole, but the fact that they had Kristen Chenoweth, who was in a practically all-white interpretation of The Wizard of Oz in Wicked, the fact that they had her sing the song really rubs me the wrong way. The only reason this song isn't lower on the list is because that last note is absolutely breathtaking. Here it is.
It's safe to dance. Well, it's safe to dance.
Safety dance. Another ableist storyline that focuses on Artie's problematic points. It's implied that Artie is only valuable if he can walk. His dream is to dance, and it's given up extremely quickly, as if people with physical disabilities can't dance. His dream of dancing is dropped after this episode, never to be seen again, which really rubs me the wrong way. Also, it's a boring number, and the choreography is bad.
Smile, though your heart is aching.
Smile by Charlie Chaplin from Mattress. Boring.
Let me see that song.
Song. I think the thing that bothers me most about early era Mr. Shu is that he forces himself into Emma's relationships. I understand that they love each other and the show wants us to believe that they're meant to be and everything else is just leading up to that point, but I don't really care. Yes, Emma is settling for Ken, which isn't fair to either of them, but that's not the point. Will sings a sexy song with Emma, clearly doing it for his own self-enjoyment rather than actually teaching her to dance with the song that Ken chose. Then, Will expects Ken to just let it happen. I believe that the entire Will and Emma relationship is toxic and shouldn't have been pushed as hard as it was, but I don't think it's necessarily a bad performance. It fits Matthew's range well enough and he gets to dance, which he's great at. I just think the way that it fits into the story is awful.
Beth, I hear you calling, but I can't come home right now.
I have personal trauma relating to the song, which I think is part of the reason that I put it this low. I know that's not fair, but it's my list and I do what I want. That being said, I don't think it suits Pug's voice. It sounds whiny and gravelly at the same time. It sounds better when the other boys come in to sing backup, but I don't like Pug's solo, which is clearly the most important part. Finn's solo is actually quite good though, especially since it's an apology to Kurt over the faggy lamp situation. The fact that Quinn ends up naming the baby Beth puts it on the higher end of the bad tier.
Tell me something good.
Tell me something. The song isn't awful, but it's definitely not good. Mr. Shu is a master manipulator, he always has been, and I hate that about him. Think about the weed disaster with Finn as an example. In this particular song, he attempts to seduce Sue as revenge, which really makes me feel bad. I don't think it sounds that bad, which which is why I put it here, but still.
It's such a good vibration.
Good vibrations. This is a fun number, that's for sure. I wish that Puck and Mercedes would have gotten to sing together more, as I really like their voices together. While I don't tend to like rap songs like this, the actors have a lot more chemistry compared to our earlier contenders, Ice Ice Baby or Bust a Move or You Can't Touch This. You can tell the actors are having fun, and I want to have fun with them. I put it this low as it doesn't sound great, and like I said, I don't tend to love rap.
Let's get physical.
Physical. Olivia Newton-John really let herself go, didn't she? When I tell you I love Grease, I love Grease. That being said, I don't like Olivia's voice here, like, at all. Her and Jane Lynch's voices don't blend together. Sue solos are okay, but Jane wasn't hired because of her singing capabilities. That being said, music video is great.
To serve with love.
Welcome to the next tier. These songs fall under Hate on Me, as I hate them. Okay, hate is a strong word, but To Serve with Love. The fact that most of these people get a solo is nice, especially when most of the characters we come to know and love haven't gotten a chance to shine yet. That being said, I'm a particular fan of Santana's solo here. However, it's kind of boring, especially when you've watched Glee 8 times and know that Sue is going to extend the Glee Club for another year. Boring, but it sounds fine enough, so here it is.
Ooh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high.
Over the Rainbow. This number is tied with To Serve with Love, as they kind of fit the same purpose, only this time it's Mr. Shu singing to the class. Something you'll notice with me is that I don't tend to love the songs that are given as gifts. They're usually all ballads and I tend to zone out. There are some exceptions to this rule, but this song is not one of them.
And I'm dancing with myself.
Dancing with Myself. The song doesn't suit Artie at all. Most of the songs that Artie sings don't suit his voice, but this one is particularly bad. The only reason the song is this high is because it decently fits in well to the plot. It shows how Artie's feeling, which is what a musical number should do in a show like this.
I could have danced all night. I could have danced all night.
I could have danced all night. I think I'm one of the few people to like Emma's voice other than in her company performance. I think it's sweet and older musical theater is perfect for her voice. That being said, I don't like that she's clearly singing the song to Will. I have a lot of issues with Will and Emma's storyline throughout the whole show, but it's particularly bad in this season as they're completely ignoring the feelings of others. I understand self-love, but don't put others down to do it. No Air. The first season tends to do this thing where they put auto-tune on Rachel's voice for no reason. That robotic sound is purposeful and I hate it. That being said, the chorus sounds good and gives Leah Michelle a chance to belt, which we all know she's great at. Vogue. Sue's first solo in the series. I like that Kurt and Mercedes were nice to her and gave her the chance to be like Madonna. That being said, Jane Lynch's voice isn't my favorite.
My endless love.
Endless Love. Like I mentioned earlier, Matthew Morrison and Leah Michelle dated prior to Glee's production, which makes this number all the creepier, even though it's already pretty bad. Mr. Shu should not have agreed to sing that song with her regardless. The only reason it's this high on the list is because I love their voices together, and if you ignore the context of the number, it would be a lot higher.
Don't make me over.
Don't Make Me Over. Here's the exception to one of my earlier listed rules. This number doesn't appear in Glee in any capacity. Only the instrumental version plays while Kurt is giving Rachel a makeover. That being said, it's a perfectly fine number. There's no video accompaniment, which brings it down a bit, but I don't have any particularly strong feelings towards Amber's performance one way or the other.
Yeah, it makes me smile. Yeah, it makes me smile.
Smile, Lily Allen. It's fine. Finn and Rachel sound good together, but this has the same weird auto-tune on Rachel's voice that they have in No Air, which y'all know I'm not a fan of. I like that they sing after becoming captains of the Glee Club and getting ready for the Glee Club photo. Also, a quote from the Glee Wiki made me laugh about this song. Quote, Brad, who plays the piano in the background, is shown enjoying the song. End quote. Good for you, Brad.
Express yourself.
Express yourself. I love the costumes for this number. However, it, like most Madonna songs, scream gaslight gatekeep girl boss. Sounds good, but a little weird.
Give me a head with hair, long beautiful hair.
Crazy in love / hair. I honestly have no idea what to say about this song, so we're just gonna move on. One. There's nothing special about this number in terms of music, but it's so absurd. We love Finn using a disabled person to guilt Rachel into feeling better about her own issues. If he was really Finn's friend, how come we never see him again? I know that season 1 did this quite a bit, introducing a character for one specific plot and then never seeing them again, but this one really rubbed me the wrong way. That being said, it's a fine number in terms of music, nothing too exciting.
This is a man's world.
It's a man's world. Another absolutely absurd number, especially with the scene before it, where Quinn implies that Mercedes doesn't understand what it's like to be oppressed. White privilege much? That being said, the only reason the song is this high is because of this clip.
But it would have been nothing. Nothing. Not one would have done.
Shout it, shout it, shout it out loud.
Shout it out loud. Fine.
Don't stand so close to me.
Don't stand so close to me / young girl. Mr. Schu's finally taking responsibility as an educator. It doesn't go as planned, but at least he tried. Sounds pretty decent too. Good job, Will.
Cause my body's so bootylicious for you, babe.
Bootylicious. A Glee number actually has decent choreography. I remember reading somewhere that when Glee was cast, they had to do easier choreography because none of the actors knew how to dance except Harry and Heather, but the majority didn't. It's nice to see a change of pace with some actually decent dancing.
The boy is mine.
The Boy Is Mine. Mercedes and Santana's first duet, which we desperately needed more of. Their voices blend together so well. However, the downside is that they're fighting over Puck, who Mercedes is into for one episode. I wish Mercedes would have gotten a real love story. Sam is okay, I guess, but anyway, that's for another time.
Dream a little dream of me.
Dream a little dream with me. I always love a good tap number. Tina and Mike are both really excellent dancers, and the number is beautiful. It suits Artie's voice too, but in the grand scheme of things, it's kind of forgettable. Mercy. I love Vocal Adrenaline. I don't think they have a single bad number, and they're great antagonists to the New Directions. That being said, this number doesn't compare to the other numbers they did this season.
Go on and take a bow.
Take a bow. There's one thing I'll give Rachel, it's that she's theatrical. Only 2 episodes into the entire series, and she's already singing a song about how a boy broke her heart. However, this is far from a standout in her repertoire. Not bad by any means, but it's early Glee and they were still working out the kinks.
Now I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no broke.
Gold digger. This is the first time that Mr. Schu raps. Also our halfway point. I find it suiting of the place on this list.
You hate on me, hater. Now or later.
Hate on me. I get what they were going for here. Sue let them sing songs about being oppressed, and Mercedes' voice always sounds great, especially when Kurt gets to lay on a chair and wiggle his legs in the air.
Hey, go honey, hate on me, hater. Cause I'm not afraid of what I got, I paid for.
However, I can't hear this song and not think, you're all minorities. You're in the Glee Club.
So run, Joey, run, Joey, run.
Run, Joey, run. I feel like this song gets a bad rap from the Glee fandom. For some godforsaken reason, we all think this is the worst number to come out of the entire show. No. I think it's a fun romp, and while yes, it does piss off the 3 major male leads in the club, it's a good time. That cameo from Sandy makes me laugh every time.
And a house is not a home when there's no one there.
A house is not a home. Finn's voice is awful here. When it comes to him singing in his room with his dad's ashes, I can't help but cringe on that one note.
And suddenly your face appears. But
That
it's
being said, I think Kurt sounds absolutely phenomenal. And yes, I do think Kurt is weird this season, and I don't like the reason that he sings this song, but it suits Chris's voice perfectly.
You're a funny girl.
Funny girl. It's Idina Menzel. How can you go wrong? Well, you can, and she definitely can, but I don't think this number is all that bad. A bit forgettable maybe, but not bad. I like that the first time we see Rachel's mother sing, it's a song from Funny Girl. Suits them both.
hello. Is it me you're looking for?
Hello. Rachel and Jesse's voices are really great together. I like that they started singing together with a love song. He knew it would get Rachel excited. Sounds good, but I don't have too much to say, so let's move on.
We want the fun. Give up the funk.
Give up the funk. Kurt's opening. That's it.
Roof off, we're gonna tear the roof off, the mother sucker. Tear the roof off, the sucker. Tear the roof off, we're gonna tear the roof off, the mother sucker. Tear the roof off, the sucker.
Loser. Finn and Puck should have sung more duets together. I think their voices blend really well together, and the raspiness is something we don't get too often on Glee, which I think we deserved more of.
And don't it feel good? I used to think maybe you loved me. Now, baby, I'm sure.
Welcome to Bad Romance. This category is called that because I would consider these songs guilty pleasures. I have nothing to be guilty about as I really support my own opinion on the show. That being said, it's the best way to describe these songs. So without further ado, welcome to number 45, Halo / Walking on Sunshine. This is a fun number, that's for sure. The choreography is the best we've seen from the New Directions up to this point, which isn't the best compliment, but it's a compliment nonetheless. The transitions from Halo to Walking on Sunshine go together really well. Everyone seems to be having a really good time, and Rachel's note at the end is... This song really has that early Glee charm, and you can tell it was from the first couple of episodes by just watching it.
Poker face. She's got to love nobody.
Poker face. I have conflicting opinions on the Rachel and Shelby storyline, but I think that this part is really nice. After Rachel talks about how her dad used to bring her a glass of water when she was sad, it's really beautiful that Shelby got her a glass knowing that she'd be upset about Shelby not being in her life. I love that storyline. That being said, I don't like the slowed down version of the song, and I really wonder why they chose to sing this song here for this particular storyline.
That's why the lady is a tramp.
Lady is a tramp. I mentioned it earlier on this list, but I think Puck's voice is really beautiful. These types of lounge singer jazz songs are perfect for him. I also think that he and Mercedes should have sung together more often. Their voice blended really well together. I don't like how Puck is just using Mercedes to get his social standing back, but I really like the song, so it doesn't bother me as much.
I'll say a little for you. Forever, forever, you'll stay in my heart and I will love you.
Say a little prayer. I think we all know this classic number. It's great foreshadowing for Quinn's character, especially since we don't know she's pregnant yet. It's got the good Christian girl persona that she wants to show off, but she's really kind of a bitch. The number introduces us to her in the best way possible and is definitely Quinn's best solo. My only issue with it is that it's not actually Santana and Brittany singing backup vocals. Ryan really didn't give them a chance to shine this season, did he?
You can always get what you want.
Oh, no, you can't.
You can't always get what you want. This is my third take, please be good. I have trauma relating to this song, but I like it too much to not include it this high. It makes me smile every time I hear it. Something a lot of people talk about when asked why they like Glee is that through everything, these kids are like family. Regardless of character, this show is a found family story. This song shows that perfectly. After all those issues with Jane Addams and Davenport, it's really great to see them come together and put on a great number.
On my own, pretend pretending he's beside me.
On My Own. I love Les Mis. This song is perfect for Rachel, and it was the perfect audition song for her. I think they chose it because Leah Michelle sang it in her audition, but this song is Rachel Berry, especially early on. Rachel's main storyline in season 1 is that the world is lonely at the top. She has to choose between having friends or being talented, at least in her eyes. The song is about losing a loved one, and I think for her, it's about losing the spotlight. I love that.
I am beautiful, no matter what they say.
Beautiful. This song is how I discovered Glee. Amber Riley performed this song at the 2010 All-Star Game, which my parents were watching, and I just happened to come into the room. Because of that, this song has a special place in my heart, which is probably why it's so high on this list. Amber's a beautiful singer, and I love her voice during this performance. Having it be used during an eating disorder storyline makes me a little uncomfortable, though. Yes, I get the point they were trying to make, but my personal experience with close people in my life who have eating disorders don't do it because they think they're ugly. I guess it's fine, though, since everyone is different. What I don't like is when teen dramas do the plot line and then they drop the eating disorder after one episode.
Another one bites the dust.
Another one bites the dust. When I was a teenager, I had the biggest crush on Jonathan Groff, so anything he appears in brings me joy.
Time is waiting. We only got 4 minutes to say the word.
4 minutes. I miss the friendship that Kurt and Mercedes have in season 1. I don't know why they ever gave that up.
But what do you say to taking chances?
Taking chances. Well, I think this song has little to no value in the story. It's Rachel's audition for the fake cabaret production. I think that it's some of Rachel's best work on the entire show. It builds very slowly before coming in with the big belts. Most Rachel songs have big belts that just take up the whole song, but this song builds it up. It has tension, and I really enjoy it, especially that final chorus.
You say to taking chances. What do you say to jumping off the edge? Big wheel keep on turning. Proud Mary keep on burning. Rolling, 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 yeah.
Proud Mary. This one's for you, Artie.
'Cause when we kiss, ooh, fire.
Fire. I grew up in a household that loved Bruce Springsteen, and so this song is a special place in my heart. I have a deep love for Kristen Chenoweth's voice, as you'll see later on during this list. I love her voice with Matthew Morrison, even if his solos do fall a little flat. Watching them skate around is an absolute joy.
Lean on me when you're not strong.
Lean on Me. I love this number. It's nothing special in terms of vocals or story for that matter, but it has the familial connection that I talked about earlier. I love a good found family storyline, and the New Directions singing this song to Quinn and Finn absolutely shows that they are family.
I'm on the highway to hell.
On a highway.
Highway to Hell. Jonathan Groff is sexy as fuck. That's it.
Open your heart to me, darling.
Borderline/Open Your Heart. This is the best song from the episode musically. Like I mentioned, Corey's voice is really hit or miss this season, but I really like this song for him, especially in the second verse when he sings back up for Rachel.
Making such a fool of me.
You're making such a fool of me.
One song from this episode is slightly higher, but that's purely for the fact that it's so absurd. But we'll get there when we get there.
I see your true colors, and that's why I love you so.
True Colors. I'm surprised that I put this number so high. I love Tina's voice, and it's nice to see her first full real solo. It's also the most show choir musical theater number the entire season. Every showcase in 2010 did the plain colored t-shirts over the black pants. Just reminds me of being in middle school and being shot out for a solo. This song is nostalgic to the highest degree.
When you see my face, hope it gives you hell, it gives you hell.
Gives You Hell. All American Rejects. Nice.
Don't bring around a cloud to rain on my parade.
Don't Rain on My Parade. This number is not as good as everyone makes it out to be. That being said, season 1 is far from my favorite season in terms of music. While I understand that they couldn't sing, and I'm telling you, this song is not a suitable replacement in the slightest. I honestly don't believe they should have won sectional.
Might as well jump
entire show, sung by the one and only Amber Riley. You'll notice as we get higher and higher on the list that Mercedes is one of my favorite performers on the show.
Oh, sweet Caroline.
Sweet Caroline. The song is great and it suits Puck's voice incredibly well. One of my favorite Puck solos in the entire show. That being said, Chad Dylan Cooper could never. My life would suck without you. This song is quintessential Glee, and what really sticks out to me is the choreography. It's all taken from previous numbers, which makes this a perfect mid-season finale number. I honestly feel like they should have done something like this instead of I Lived in the series finale. This number is fun and reinforces the idea of found family that Glee is all about.
I want your love and I want your revenge. You and me could write a bad romance.
Bad romance. I would wear every single one of these outfits, including Rachel's stuffed animal dress.
Like a virgin, touched for the very first time.
Like a virgin. This song is absolutely absurd, and if you're ready for a hot take, this song is just the sexy version of The Scientist.
There's nothing I can say. Total eclipse of the heart.
Total eclipse of the heart. So for this number, I have a special guest who absolutely adores this number. My friend Cherry.
Jesse is annoying. I really don't care about his relationship with Rachel. That being said, this song bangs. The ballet in it is incredibly entertaining. I don't even know if it's ballet, but like, I enjoy whatever they were doing. I'm a total Eclipse of the Heart enjoyer.
Welcome to I'll Stand By You. These next songs are tried and true Glee classics, songs that I absolutely love.
It's Papa don't preach, I'm in trouble deep.
Papa Don't Preach. Rebellious Quinn is my favorite Quinn. This song suits her voice incredibly well, and the choreography is just... This is right after she got kicked out for being pregnant, and seeing her lean back in towards Puck is pure magic. Going to see Quinn develop as a character in season 1 is one of my favorite parts of the entire show.
I'd sooner fight, defying gravity.
Defying Gravity. While I don't absolutely love this number for its musicality, the number really sticks with me as someone who used to do things to impress their dad. Kurt throwing that note on purpose because Bert thought he shouldn't sing the song. It's something I used to do a lot. Kurt is one of my no doubles kins in modern terms, of course, and this particular plotline hits me hard. So much so that every time I rewatch this episode, I have to mute that note. It gets me every single time.
Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling.
Don't Stop Believin', the pilot version. The first of many times this was sung on Glee, it's definitely not the best. That being said, it felt wrong to put it any lower. If you were alive in 2009, regardless of whether or not you watched Glee, you knew this number. I mentioned that a couple other numbers were quintessential Glee, but Don't Stop Believin' takes the cake.
They try to make me go to rehab, and I said no, no, no.
Rehab. Like I mentioned multiple times, I love vocal adrenaline with my entire being. When I think about show choir, numbers like this are the first to come to my mind. This number does an incredible job of establishing vocal adrenaline as a worthy rival to the New Direction.
I bust the windows out your car.
Number 17. Bust Your Windows. Oh, Mercedes, I'm so glad Rachel gave you the gay intervention. That being said, Mercedes and Kurt's friendships was one of my favorite parts of the early show, and so anything involving the two of them, even a giant fight, is great in my eyes.
Everything's coming apart.
Rose's turn. Kurt is at his best when he sings 60s musical theater, and this number absolutely proves it. This song shows Chris's lower register at its very best, also giving him time to be the countertenor that he is. Hearing him growl is something we deserve more of.
Turn gateway wrong, get off of my runway. Starting now, I bat 1,000.
Chris also gets to show off his acting chops here, and this number would have made it to the top 10 if there just weren't so many other amazing numbers.
Mama just killed a man.
Bohemian Rhapsody. Something that keeps me coming back to Glee over and over is the absolute absurdity in comparison to other teen dramas of its era. One of the most memorable numbers of the whole series, Quinn is giving birth to Jonathan Groff's vocals, and it's something I never thought that I would see. Freddie Mercury once said that you can do anything you want with his music as long as you don't make it boring. That's certainly something Glee never did.
I dreamed a dream in time gone by.
I Dreamed a Dream. This song I like purely for the music. Like I said during Poker Face, I have mixed feelings on Shelby and Rachel's relationship, but Dina and Leah's voices go together so well, and I just love listening to this one.
It's my life, it's now or never.
It's My Life / Confessions Part 2. Like I've said many times throughout this video, Corey's voice is very hit or miss, but god damn it does it hit here. Corey was meant to sing this kind of music. The transitions between the two songs are phenomenal, and some of the best mashups throughout the whole entire show are featured right here.
I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you.
I'll stand by you. First of all, Kurt with the fingerless gloves, I just thought that I should point that out. Anyway, that being said, this is another number where Corey really hits it out of the ballpark. You can just hear that raw emotion in his voice, and it's so good that I can hardly stand it.
You know I wish that I had Jesse's girl.
Jesse's Girl. The final in the Finn trilogy, Jesse's Girl, was an absolute classic. It fits into the plot perfectly as they are indeed fighting over Jesse's girl. While I didn't think Finn's voice is as good as the last two here, it's a blast nonetheless. Finn was at his best when he was singing 80s radio hits, and if this number isn't that, then... Somebody to Love, the top 10. When I say I love these songs, I mean it with my whole being. Any way you want it, lovin', touchin', squeezin'. This is a fun number. You can tell every single person on that stage is having a good time. As I mentioned many times in this video before, Glee is about found family. Right now, on this stage, during this number, the New Directions are a family. They all fell into it with no problem because they love each other. No matter what, it's all about music at the end of the day.
Can anybody find me?
Somebody love.
Somebody to love. I'm an empath, and so emotional numbers are my cup of tea. Numbers that mean something have a deep impact on my heart. Not only is this the first number that all 12 members of the original Glee Club sing together, this is also Rachel's return to the team after the cabaret stint. Finn's opening, Mercedes closing, this number's phenomenal.
And I can't fight this feeling anymore.
Can't fight this feeling. The number that changed everything. I saw in an interview that this was Corey's audition song for Glee because he was afraid to sing in front of the camera, so he recorded himself in the shower. I think that that's the impact of a show like this. It's a project that you care so much about, you're willing to do anything to be a part of it. Keep holding on. I honestly expected this number to be lower considering my recent stint with the Glee project. Hearing it at the end of every episode can be a little grating. That being said, this version is wonderful. These kids barely know each other, having only been friends for a couple of weeks at this point. To sing a number like this for Quinn and Finn, it's very sweet, and it makes me happy to see how much they care. It's an absolute classic for a reason.
Yeah, dream on, dream on, dream on, dream until the dream comes true.
Dream on. Now, I probably have a personal bias for this one, as Cherry, who you saw earlier in the video, loves Aerosmith and more specifically loves this song. I've been trying to get her to watch Glee with me for years, only for this music video on YouTube to convince her to do it. This song is in our Inside Jokes playlist and it brings me a lot of comfort. Also, NPH in that high note.
Dream on, dream on, dream on.
It's breathtaking every time. It might be that I always sing along and I have bad breath support, but still. Don't Stop Believin'. My favorite version of Don't Stop Believin' in the entire show is this one. Hearing everyone's little solos and having the audience cheer for each and every member of the Glee Club is what it's all about. Now, my most controversial Glee opinion is that I don't particularly like Paradise by the Dashboard Light from season 3. Everyone loves that song because everyone gets a moment to shine. This number does that for me. Also, the keychain is one of my favorite Glee musical moments.
Maybe this time I'll win.
Maybe this time. Kristen Chenoweth's voice is perfect. As you'll see with the number after this, I love her deeply. Everyone talks about how well Indina and Leah's voices go together, but I think they're forgetting about the other wicked starlet who goes with Leah even better. Just go listen to this one. It's really great. Alone. This is the other song that convinced Cherry to watch Glee with me. This is another musically perfect duet, reducing Will to background vocals. I wouldn't even consider this a duet, more of him backing her up, but that's not a bad thing by any means though. Kristen's vocals here are the best they were ever on the entire show. I don't know anything else to say, it's that good. I'm speechless.
I'm forever yours, faithfully.
Faithfully. I was never a huge fan of Finchel. That being said, when Finn tells Rachel he loves her, that's the moment for me. That's the one moment I get it. To be followed directly by this beautifully sung number, it brings me to tears every time I listen to it. Rachel and Finn's voices were meant to go together, and this number showcases that better than any other.
And I am telling you, I'm not going.
And I'm telling you, I'm not going. When you found out that Don't Stop Believin' wasn't number 1, I'm sure your mind went straight here. This number is perfect, and that's all I have to say about it. No words. There's a reason that Amber Riley won every award under the sun when she was cast as Effie White in the West End's production of Dreamgirls. If those performances were anything like this, she absolutely deserves it. God. Whoa. And that's it. That's my ranking of every song from Glee Season 1. Let me know how you feel in the comments below, and thank you for watching. I'm working on some really interesting stuff coming up, so I hope you subscribe if you're interested to see more content like this. Thank you so much, and have a nice day. Bye!